that you are right now? How about the place that you live, work, and spend most part of your time? Are they protected against fire? Here are Wharton Center's emergency exits. You can thank me later for that. Fire is a long-time problem that still threats all levels of society. We were able to reduce the size of the problem from cities, like the Great Chicago Fire, that destroyed whole neighborhoods and lasted days, to only one building, or even limited floors or rooms of a building that last for a few hours or even minutes. From those situations, we learned the basic fire safety principles, that we need to separate buildings so radiation doesn't start another fire across the street, that we need to build fire-resistant walls and floors to prevent the spread of fire to other rooms, that we must create routes to help people escape the building. We need devices to try to extinguish the fire at its principle. But above all, we learned that we need to educate people on how to react in those situations. We tend to think that fire is a problem from the past. Solve the issue, that it's not a problem anymore. But according to the National Fire Protection Association, in 2018, there were more than 1.3 million fires in the United States. 30% of those were in homes, and resulted in more than 3.6 thousand of civilian fatalities, which means that there was one death every 3 hours and 30 minutes because of a home fire in America. So, what is the cause for so big numbers of fire incidents? Thanks to the Property Brothers, now everyone wants an open concept. Everyone wants to live, work, and use beautiful buildings in their daily basis. But not everyone understands the risks involved in those concepts, as well as in filling their homes with electronics, plastics, and other combustible materials. The common living room of nowadays burns much faster than the living room from 50 years ago. Besides, big openings for natural lighting and the use of open concept can help feed and spread the fire much more easily. So, what are the things that you normally think in terms of fire protection? Or maybe you think about sprinklers.
What's up?
Those are active systems of protection because they act directly into the fire. But most people don't know that we actually design buildings following fire safety principles. We have fire-resistant walls, floors, doors, but more importantly, we have fire-resistant structures that are designed to sustain a fire for a period of time that is known as fire resistance. As an example, one misconception about 9/11 is that the Twin Towers collapsed because of the airplane's impact, when they were actually designed for that. But further investigations revealed that the impact caused damage to the fire protection means exposing the weakened structures to the high temperatures of a fire of a plane full of fuel. In those situations, the longer a structure can remain stable, the more lives could be saved. Structures are usually designed for fire safety following prescribed design approaches, in which specific parameters are determined based on empirical relations. A performance-based design approach can be much more effective in terms of safety and sustainability. But how can we know for sure how long a structure will remain stable so firefighters can get into the building, save more lives without risking their own? As we move towards the development and application of the smart industry, it is possible to predict that we will have huge advancements in the field of construction. Sensors, connectivity, and big data, and many other technologies will allow us to understand the actual behavior of structures in real applications, and maybe prevent failure with anticipations. In terms of fire safety, this means that we may be able to get a much more accurate combat, preventing both human and property losses. Despite all those advances, prevention and education are still our most powerful tool to prevent home fires. If you live in a house Have you thought about what you have around your fireplace? You may happen to have more than one device connected to the same outlet that can overheat. Do you unplug your coffee maker before you leave your home in a rush in the morning? Or if you live in an apartment, do you know the route that you would have to run to escape the building? Protection device is installed before you try a dangerous cooking performance. Not everyone can put out a fire with a breath like Gordon Ramsay, right? Modern buildings can make our living experience much more enjoyable by the incorporation of new technologies. Taller buildings with open concepts and the use of composite materials to create a better finishing and slender structural elements are much more used nowadays. New materials, design concepts, technologies are being incorporated to our constructions faster than we ever seen, and they might represent risks that we are not even aware of yet. Engineers are working to increase buildings' fire safety, but it will always be more about building a culture of prevention than regulations. As we build and restore our current constructions, it is important to remind of what we've been through in the past, so we can build a safer future. Thank you.